Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to our uh, YouTube Live today. As many of you probably know, today we're talking about Encryptr, which is our password manager. Encryptr has been a really big part of SpiderOak for a long time. And unfortunately, today we have some sad news about Encryptr. Uh, and so I'm going to launch right in and let you know. And by the way, my name is Adam Turvitt. I am SpiderOak's VP of Customer Success. So for all of you who are upset today, I'm the one to blame. Anyways, what we want to do today is just give you a little bit of an update on the state of Encryptr, what's going to happen with Encryptr, and what are your next steps. So without further ado, uh, let's hop into the slides. So uh, first, I just wanted to give a little bit of a backstory about Encryptr, where it came from, and uh, the how we ended up with this product, and what's happened with it over the last years. So, Encryptr was the first app that was built on what was called the Krypton project. Krypton was one of SpiderOak's uh, early early attempts to make a platform so that other people could develop secure apps on top of it. It was a great idea. This is back in 2014 or 2015. We had a staff that worked on Krypton, and one of the first apps that was developed was a side project by one of our software engineers. His name was Tommy. Tommy made Encryptr as a personal project, something he was interested in and wanted to personally use. So he put together a password manager. Internally, we all started to use it and we loved it. And so, not too long after that, uh, SpiderOak purchased Encryptr and made it part of the SpiderOak family of apps. Uh, Encryptr has always been free and open source, which is one of the things that we loved about it. We're big fans of open source software. And one of the best things about Encryptr was it was really simple. Um, we kind of used to say Encryptr is so simple, even my grandma could use it. And that was one of the things that we always wanted to make sure that people felt like it was an easy product to use. I personally have helped a lot of my family members get onto Encryptr, and uh, many of us internally liked it, not because we felt like it was too complicated, but because we felt like it was just complicated enough. It did one thing, it did it really well. Uh, Many years have passed since then. As I said, we love Encryptr here at SpiderOak. It's something that every new SpiderOak employee has used for years and years, and it's been a key part of how we do our work. In the last couple of years, though, we've increasingly felt that we needed to focus on our most important work. And for us, that's our backup product and our new product, Crossclave, that we talked about last week on our YouTube Live. Focus is vital for any small business, and we're the same. We need to really make sure that we're focusing on the things that bring the most value both to us and to our customers. But the real deciding factor for us is that the Krypton project has been dead for quite a while. Uh, as I said, Encryptr was the first app that was built on Krypton. It's also the last app that was built on Krypton. And so, in an attempt to maintain Encryptr, we've had to spend a lot of time and a lot of money hiring developers just to work on this. And it's something that at the end of the day we've decided we've put as much time and money into Encryptr as we can. Now we need to move on to other things. And a big part of this is because right now there are other very, very excellent alternatives that are free and open source, and as well as other paid options that just do password management and they do it so well. So here are some next steps for all of you. The first important thing is you need to upgrade Encryptr if you haven't yet to version 2.1.0. Now, 2.1.0 is a desktop only version. If you still have a mobile version that you're using, that will be 2.0.0. That'll continue to work until the time we finally sunset the servers. But to export your data, you're going to need to make sure you upgrade to the desktop version of 2.1.0, and you can export your data as a CSV file. So what you do from that point is really up to you, but we want to make sure that the data you have is easily readable. It exports in a CSV file. CSVs are, you can open it with a text editor, with a program like Excel. You can do all kinds of things with your data once it's exported, and then you can import it into a new password manager. So quickly, here is my encryptor, and once you've logged in, all you need to do in order to, you can see all your various passwords. All you'll need to do once encryptor loads is click the export button, and the export button will bring up a dialog asking you where you want to save your data. And uh, at this point, you've got your CSV, and you can take that data and move it on to another service. Here are our recommendations of where you should go. The first one, for everybody who's searching for a free encryptor alternative, we strongly recommend Bitwarden. Bitwarden is a really great project. It's free and open source, community supported. It has great cross-platform support, both for mobile and for desktops. It also has a web interface, and that's how you're going to import your encryptor data, is through the Bitwarden web interface. We worked with the Bitwarden team. They worked very closely with our release engineer, Diego, and they have full support for the encryptor export format so that you can directly import those passwords into Bitwarden, and everything will show up in the correct fields. If you're looking for a premium alternative, or a password manager that you can use in a team setting, we strongly recommend 1Password. Uh, within SpiderOak, we're kind of evenly divided over. Uh, some employees really prefer Bitwarden. Some employees prefer 1Password. I'm on the 1Password side. I've actually been a 1Password user uh, personally for quite a few years. I think they've got a great product. So 1Password has great security and an amazing dev team, and it's also, just like Bitwarden, has very good cross-platform support for all of the desktops, as well as various mobile platforms. You can import your encryptor data into 1Password also through their web interface. So if you go into the Bitwarden or the 1Password desktop clients, you're not going to see an encryptor specific import. But if you're on their web interface, then you will. Here's the timeline. Now, one of the things that we're most concerned about is we don't want to leave anybody in a lurch. Today is not the day that Encryptor is turned off. Okay. We're making the announcement today, and the final shutdown will be next year on March 4th. We want to make sure everybody has enough time, that they know this is happening, they know how to get their data out, and they're able to find an alternative before we go ahead and shut down the servers. So we've got about 4 months of time. If any of you have really specific reasons why you're going to need an extension, please contact our support team at encryptor@spideroak.com or support@spideroak.com, and we'll be happy to work with you. So you have from now until March 4th to export your data from Encryptor and move on to another alternative. After March 4th, that's when we will turn off the servers. Now, one thing to note, if you have upgraded to Encryptor version 2.1.0, this actually includes offline support. So as long as you've done that update, even after we turn off the servers, you'll be able to use Encryptor locally on your device, but you won't be able to sync new changes between any of your devices. you'll only be able to use it with the data that's locally available on your computer. All right. Any questions? I know that, for many people, this is a really sad day. Encryptr is a great password manager, and a lot of people have been using it for a long time. So again, we want to be upfront with this, both the reasons why we decided to do this and what's next, how you should go about getting your data out and places you can take it to. For more information, as well as a step-by-step walkthrough of importing your data into Bitwarden and 1Password, on our website, you can go to spideroak.com/encryptor. All right. Well, uh, if anybody has any comments or questions, I'll be happy to stay on for a couple of minutes and answer those. We've tried really hard. That's really a foundational part of who we are as a company is we do want to be transparent and let you know why we're doing things. Um, if any of you are open source developers, all of the code, both front end and back end code for Encryptr, are on our GitHub page as a public repository. If someone is interested in forking this and making your own version, we welcome that. Just know that because Krypton is deprecated, and that's the back end that Encryptr works on, you're going to have to recreate your own JavaScript backend. All right, there's a question. Are you guys considering selling the code or giving it to someone who wants to keep it open source? Yeah, like I just said, it's on GitHub and you're welcome to fork it. It'll be a considerable amount of work to get your own Encryptr server up and running, though. So it's there. And if you're interested, we'd love for people to do that. When we've looked at alternative ways to keep Encryptr going, our internal opinion is it would be better to just create a new backend on whatever backend you prefer, and then use the front end coding that we've already done to make a client that's compatible with that backend. So for any of you enterprising coders, this may be something that you want to take on. All right. Any final questions or comments? So just to reiterate for anybody who came on late, SpiderOak's made the decision that we're going to sunset the Encryptr password manager. The final date when Encryptr will be sunsetted is March 4th, 2021. We encourage anybody who is interested to look at Bitwarden or 1Password as potential alternatives. And with that, I'll sign off. Please know on our website, we've got a banner up with this announcement and a link to the Encryptr page on our site. You can find more information on that Encryptr page, including step-by-step instructions on how to export your data from Encryptr, import it into Bitwarden or 1Password. All right. Thank you very much. Hope everybody has a great day, and feel free at any time to reach out to us.